trying to crank up, it will crank. And then once it cycles through the lights and everything, then I get on the screen that says performance shifting unavailable.
Okay.
Now, yesterday, at first, I could not get it to go into reverse. But eventually, it did go into reverse. But when I tried to drive it, I could get maybe 30 miles per hour, and it would never shift to the next gear.
Oh, I see.
So I parked it until this morning, and then I found Just Act. So this is where I'm at now.
I gotcha. Awesome. Thank you for giving me all that detail. That really helps out. So let me ask you a few questions. Has anything been replaced for this starting condition as of yet?
I want to say back in January, I had the crank sensor replaced, and I haven't had any issues until yesterday.
Has anybody checked for codes in the computer using a compatible scan tool?
No.
All right. So I would be willing to bet there's probably code stored in the computer that will, at least at the bare minimum, points a technician in the right direction to start figuring out what's going on with the vehicle. So, and if not, probably even almost pinpoint the root cause. So if somebody hasn't already, somebody needs to plug into the computer and check for codes with a compatible scan tool. Now, any shop can do this. Even an auto parts store may do this for free for you. Since the engine starts and runs, you could drive it to an auto parts store, see if they'll plug into it for free for you. But just because you get a few codes in the computer, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to pinpoint the root cause. It all depends on the codes. It depends on somebody will likely have to run some hands-on tests after they get these codes. So you could certainly do that to save on time and costs at a repair shop. But I think a technician's going to have to run some tests to figure out what's going on. But let me give you some possible causes for a hard start condition. If the engine is slow to crank, in other words, if it's rotating slow, in other words, it's barely starting, it goes and it's hard starting, it's not cranking over fast, that most likely could be a bad battery, or we could have an issue with the starter. If the engine is cranking normally but doesn't fire up, if it goes rah, but it doesn't actually start right away, that's going to be something completely different, and it's most likely it's going to be something related to the fuel system. So the fuel pump goes bad quite often on these vehicles, and also on this particular vehicle, the engine coolant temperature sensor goes bad, causing a hard start condition.
Before you go any further, can I, because I'm sitting in the car when I call, can I go in the house and let my husband hear what you're saying?
Yeah, you bet, absolutely.
Give me just a moment. Let me go back in the house. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you tell me again on what you were saying with it cranking slow? What could be?
Yes,
possible?
if the engine is cranking over slow, that could be an issue with the battery or the starter. If the engine is cranking normally but not starting right away, that's usually an issue with the fuel system. Either the fuel pump or, on this particular vehicle, the engine coolant temperature sensor tends to go bad quite often, causing a hard start condition. So before you replace anything, somebody needs to plug into the computer system, check for codes, and it would be a good idea to have your mechanic check the fuel pressure when this happens, just to make sure that the fuel pump is working like it should.
I do have, is there any such thing such that you can reset? According to, I've been on YouTube looking at different things. That's how I found Just Act. It was saying something about resetting the PCM.
You can reset the PCM, but if the root cause isn't addressed, it's probably not going to fix the issue that you're having.
Gotcha. First thing first, we just need to get it on a machine to see what those codes are.
100%.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for giving me a call back.
Mm-hmm. You bet. You're welcome. Well, good luck, and let me know if anything else comes up. And all you have to do is just reply back to our chat. I'll be happy to help.
Thank you.
You're welcome.